bits and pieces of old water trough. Had a hard life too, that one. Looks like somebody had a stash in the bush here. A lot of shearers used to drink the old long necks. It's interesting. Looks like it was a pot at some stage and somebody's turned it into a hat. Give you a nice haircut if you put that on your head and trim around the outside. Yeah. There's what's left of the wagon. Beauty. I'm on Beringarra Station in the Murchison region. I'm pretty sure this is what's left of Beringarra's woolshed. Gonna have a wander around, see what's left. Yeah, they were artists back then. All the work that goes into twitching all the wire around these posts. Looks like they must have dug a trench, put them in and then filled it back in again. That's the drafting race up there, that red steel. There's a bit of an old fence line and a new fence line for the yards. They run the sheep down this race here. Somebody standing at the gate. Makes it a bit hard when they see somebody standing at the gate to get them through. Anyway, whoever's operating these gates, they separate them into probably ewes, rams, lambs, in the 3 different yards. I'm not sure what this gate here was for. Might have been for the troublemakers or maybe a killer to feed the shearers. They're weird old tanks, them stone ones. It's a bit high. I don't think I'll be able to get up the top and have a look inside that one. There's the remains of the woolshed on the right there. Definitely need a ladder to get into that one. There's a loading ramp. Run the sheep up into a truck. Either cart them off to one of the paddocks on the station or send them off to market. And the old shearing shed. Head off a windmill. Retired windmill. A lot of these clips laying around. That's what they use to secure the wool bales, the open end. Like the back or front of a pocket watch. Jack Hills in the background. That's the remains of a backpack drencher. And they're the mechanisms for turning off and on a shearing stand. Those mechanisms, when you turn them on, they used to have a wheel run up along them circular things on that shaft. And it'd turn this arm here on, which had their handpiece on the end. Once the sheep were shorn, the fleece was picked up, chucked on this here wool table and skirted, take all the dirty wool off. By a roustabout. That thing over there used to have discs on it, sharpening disc, sharpening disc for sharpening your combs and cutters off your handpiece. In here were the catching pens. Each shearer had a catching pen with 2 swinging bar doors on them. Go in there, catch a sheep, turn it over, drag it out, shear it, pop it down a chute into one of these counting yards. As the shearers were paid for sheep. Still are, I believe. There the discs that were on that machine for sharpening your combs and cutters, and they used to have emery paper glued to them. They have a fiberglass shaft that hung off those little hooks at the top there, and a little, I think they had magnetic with a couple of little grub screws pointing out, so you could put the two holes on your combs or cutters and push them into that grinding wheel to sharpen them up. That fiberglass rod was a bit like that, but a bit shorter. That long shaft there was turned by a pulley off a motor with belts. There's a few of them back wing doors. These struts under here would have been made from local wood. Some sheds had storage under here for the sheep to keep them dry. Probably didn't have much trouble with that out here. Part of a cutter. Way out back, a little concrete slab. Somewhere to kill a sheep for the shearers. Now if they run out of meat, if the chef run out of meat, it'd be hell to pay by the shearers. So they rigged up this little setup to hang a sheep on and take the skin and belly out of it. It's quite ingenious, really. I haven't seen one similar to this. That's called a gamble, a wooden gamble. That's usually steel. So you do the deed on the ground there, put holes in the back legs, hook them into that, hook them on the gamble there, and this, I guess you top it up with sand until it was heavier than the sheep, and you'd lock it back into here. It's a bit hard to move now, but you'd lock it into there to hold it up. Then you'd take the skin off and such and finish it off. Yeah, that's quite a good setup, that. Well, I reckon it should come out a bit so that you're not hard up against this. I guess if you don't take it up so high, it'll stick out a bit. Yeah, that's probably what they do. This would have been the kitchen, I reckon, where the chef was stationed. I haven't seen that trademark on corrugated iron before. Shame the dining hall was collapsed and the quarters. It's quite ornate on the top of that chimney. Yeah. Look in the cookhouse. Number 6 metal stove. Would have been a ripper. Out back to his butcher shop. And not the chopping block still there. Gonna check out the engine room. That's where the power supply would have come from. Would have had a big, maybe lister motor or something in there. Run a generator. Well, there you go. There's a generator and lister motor. Probably still runs that old girl. I reckon a lot of yarns were concocted in here over the years. What that way to piece of this? A bottle of rum. Or a bottle of port for that matter. The old Caro fridge must have failed to keep the drinks cool in the end, so First drought. Old padlock. That'll be easy, eh? And if it still works, if you get a key. Made in England, is it? This looks like the bottle orchard. Crikey, they had the dunnies quite a distance from the quarters. Must have been a smelly lot. Haven't seen a petrol pump like that for years. One of those. I remember using both of them. This is a whip pole they used to lift the bales of wool and put them on the wagon with. The tunnel on the right's a sheep dip. They had sprays underneath and on top. And out of that pit, there was a chemical they used to spray on to kill lice and all that sort of stuff. Welcome to Congwah Well. Don't think that mill's going to pump much. The tank's full, but I don't think it comes from this mill. Little Willie. Twin tanks. There's Jack Hills in the background. Heading back to the main road. This track ends at that mill. Don't want to do this too often, I'll run out of fuel. Anyway, we'll see where we go next. Looks like a red and a grey. There's a lot of dead timber through here. That's Jack Hills in the background, just southwest of Mount Gould. Wedge-tailed eagle and a crow. Yeah, Wedgie's other half is flying around keeping watch. His mate. These are the Jack Hills. And around to the north, we have Mount Gould. just to the south of Mount Gould. You can see where they get their name from, wedge-tailed. Wedgies everywhere here. All over the feast. To end the Eagle Rock. Bit of roadkill there. That Gould Creek runs into the Murchison River, and here we are at the Mount Gould Police Station and Lockup. Mount Gould in the background. This place here was built in 1888 to hold prisoners when they were getting transferred from Meekatharra to Carnarvon. I've done a bit of a video on this before, so I won't go into it too much. From here we're heading south towards, well, southeast towards Meekatharra. We'll stop off at the Murchison River along the way. Bloody graffiti. Not much room in there. It appears somebody's caravan didn't make the distance. Back when it was a gravel road, I expect. We're coming up to Marari Homestead on the Murchison River. Some roadworks on this road here, you got to dodge potholes on the bitumen. Believe it or not, this thing here was an old fuel bowser. Fuel shortages were so severe during World War II that the pastoralists had to rely on their own resourcefulness to travel. This thing here was called a charcoal shaker. We used to burn mulga in a pit. You get the charcoal, chuck it in here, and manually shake it like hell and shake all the sand and stuff out of it. They then loaded the charcoal onto burners on vehicles and used charcoal as a fuel. One thing I don't think they ever worked out was how many mulga trees to a mile. Now that's bloody amazing. This is Morari homestead buildings. Yeah, way back in the 1800s, early 1900s, Afghan camel drivers used to camp here on their way to and from Mount Augustus. In 1924, Charles Kingston Smith and his mate Keith Anderson used to come through here on his mail run. I've seen that pool down there full of water one stage. A couple of tiny little pools down there. From here, the river heads northeast. There is tracks on my map that go up that way. But if I can't get all the way through, I might not have enough fuel to get back. So it looks like we're heading south to Meekatharra, south east. It's got some pools of water in this river, the Yalgar River. Just to the southeast of Morari homestead. This Yalgan River runs into the Ord River, about a K from here, before running into the Murchison River. And this is the causeway on the Carnarvon Meekatharra Road. Got a bit of water here. Yalgar River along the Carnarvon Meekatharra Road. You see that bird over there? Making out like a stick. Have a bit of a close look, eh? See it now? It's a crane, I think. Well camouflaged. Must be something in the water for it to eat. Yeah, a lot of water, about 400 metres worth I reckon. Yalgar River, which runs into the Ord and in turn runs into the mighty Murchison. Yeah, it's not very old. Yellowtail. So this is called Nanya Labor. Tank over there, we'll go and check that out. What do you reckon? Got some bulrushes growing here. Must be a bit of water coming out of that tank every now and then. It overflow. A bit of supplement out here for the cattle to munch on. No water in the trough. Don't think there's any in the tank either. Not sure where that mill's pumping to. Or if it's even pumping for that matter. Maybe the buckets about it. Well, a little bit of water in there. It's not going to water any stock though. Trying to find Belele Spring on the Hope River. The tin dog. Coffee or something maybe. About 500 metres from that barrow bore. Notice a couple of bottles and cans laying around in the bush. Cool. Just have a wander around a little while, see what happens, see what comes up. How old are these bottles? Australian glass manufacturers. Not that old. Something on the side of this one. Perth and Fremantle bottle exchange. Beck. Easy. There you go. An old shed or something over yonder. Well, go and have a look at the bore and then go and have a look at that, eh? Some old yards over there. Probably worth having a look at as well. I'm heading to this building first while I'm on foot. I'll drive down to that bore and see if there's a track heading east at Belele Spring. The old fence line here too. The closer I get to that shack, the more stuff there is laying around the place. Little pot, jelly pot. So that's how you open them. Let's go and have a closer look, eh? Bit creaky. Wow. What a beauty. Cow's not impressed. Like an old scrubber over there, he's not too impressed. Fireplace, a table and a bed. That's about all you need. Old Sheepyards. Not sure what that yard there was. This must have been the shearing shed, I'd say. There's the old gate latch. Yeah, very primitive. Love to know the history of this place. I wonder what that was. Interesting bit of gear. Looks like that was the water pump. All full of empty cans and stuff now. I'm not going to stop at the bore, there's a lot of cattle there. Don't want to disturb them. One last look at the shack before we head off. What a beauty. Now this track, the way it's heading, goes towards Belele Spring. Looks like the water howls through here when they have a bit of rain. it says Belele Springs a little bit further to the north. Doesn't say anything about a windmill here. Anyway, I'll have a quick look around. Isn't that a pretty picture? Sounds like there's a solar pump pumping there. We'll have a look. Water in the trough, that's a good sign. Tank's about half full. I can hear that pump. Can't be a great deal of water in there. The Hope River comes through down yonder, and that's where the spring is before it goes into Hope Lake. Track looks pretty rough, so I'll come back here one day and check it out when there's other vehicles with me. Supposed to get any weather here, but I'm going to go back close to the main road just in case. You never know. I'll have a look in the well before we head off. Gee, that's a big well. Unbelievable. Clear water too, I can see right in here. Don't want to camp anywhere near a trough. Cattle wouldn't be impressed. Nor would the station owner for that matter. Going to be a standoff. Looks like somebody's had quite a bit of fun in there trying to get out. That's why I want to get close to the road. Congwah Well. Solar set up as well. What that is over there in the bush. A bit of a fence over here. Have a look. Looks like Jackie the stockman must have passed away hereabouts. Jackie could have been a fencer. Noticed a red thing hanging in a tree there. Had me intrigued. So sort of best come and find out what's going on. Anyway, it would appear the cow's been up here munching on all these branches. I've got a ear tag stuck in the branch. So there you go. Unbelievable. Beringarra Station, I guess. Yeah, ripped it out of its ear. I didn't think there would be any dogs around here, but appears there is. I wonder if I hear any tonight. Beautiful night, not many flies here, not much wind either. I think Jackie's mate come for a visit tonight. I could see the eyes shining out in the light.